Oh, I should have waited to turn that on. Hope I'm not making too much noise. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. These boom mics, I never can get used to these things. Oh. I'll just leave it alone. Let it sit right there. Hope everybody can hear me. Let me know if you can't hear me. Good evening, Jennifer, Ice. Nice to see you two again. Ice reminded me I was supposed to be on here tonight on my Discord. Just turn that a little bit. There we go. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's getting ready for a... I like that song. Ice making fun of me. You doing a head bob? I like that song. That's why I picked that song. I got lots of songs I could play, but I really like that song. Anyway, hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. I know I'm ready for the weekend. So apparently this phone, this number that you see right here, during the day, if I'm not live streaming and you're watching this VOD later on, then you can actually text that number with a question. So you don't have to, if you have a question that's hot on your mind, I didn't know you could text it. I didn't know that would work that way. But I actually have a question that came in that said, how do you treat the clothes hangers, and what about cloth and leather handbags? This is one of the questions I got through Skype, because this number is actually a Skype number that you can text. And if you, like I said, if you're watching later, you can call now if you want to. But and then another question came through and said, did you get my message on your live stream show? So I'm not exactly sure what message was given. I don't think voicemail works. I tried to activate voicemail so people could actually leave me a voicemail if they want to. But so the question is, how do you treat the clothes hangers, and what about cloth and leather handbags? So anything that's cloth that can be run through a dryer should be. Leather is a little harder to treat because chemicals can cause problems, because leather is the skin of another animal. So it can be kind of tricky to treat something like a leather couch, for example. Leather couches can be very difficult to treat, but they're also not as porous as, say, a upholstered couch or a cloth handbag. So a lot of times you can throw things like that in the dryer. Now, a leather handbag, I don't think I would do that. I'd probably contact the manufacturer and even find out if you can put it in the dryer or not. But that's one that I would usually recommend, calling somebody and asking them, hey, whoever manufactures your handbag, and say, hey, I've got bed bugs in my handbag. How would you suggest that I heat this to get rid of them? So, that's what I would do. So I did have that actual question that came through my Skype number, which, like I said, that's what this number is right here. And I'm sorry I'm on so late tonight. My kids were late going to bed, and so I'm late. I always say after 9 o'clock or as soon as the kids get in bed. Sometimes it's earlier than 9 o'clock. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock because I went and got a Starbucks later this evening, and I let my youngest, who is 2.5, have a sip of it because I like to get the mocha, because I don't like to taste coffee. So people are like, why do you like coffee if you don't like the taste of coffee? Because coffee nasty. Coffee's like dirty sock water. It's gross. So I got to add like milk and cream and coffee, chocolate, all kinds of stuff to it to make it taste good. And I let my son take a little sip of it because it's chocolate. I'm not thinking that he's got to go to bed so I can come on here and talk to you guys tonight. But so Jennifer says, what procedures, chemicals do you recommend to pre-treat a property before moving in? So to pre-treat for things like bed bugs or really any type of pesticides, I would probably use something like Alpine WSG. Samari is a good pesticide. Really just pretty much anything you could use for a pre-treat as long as the apartment's empty. The thing about treating your property you're moving into, if you're worried you might take bed bugs to the property from where you live, then I would treat with Crossfire. That's what I would use to treat with. But if you're worried about things like roaches, like maybe you lived in an old apartment that had roaches, or maybe you're worried that the apartment you're moving to has roaches, then you would use something like Alpine WSG would be what I would choose for something like that. How do you get rid of mice after 3 companies have failed to do so? Black boxes outside with bait boxes, inside traps, everything else. Still have little mice in my house. All right, so this is something I run into all the time. So Without Limits asked that question about mice. And some houses are just attractive to mice all the time. You can bait for the mice, you can kill the mice, but mice continue to come in because there is something about your house that is either attractive to them. It may be an exclusion problem where you need to figure out how they're actually getting into your house, try to block off those pathways, and that will help. It may lessen the amount. In over 30 years, I've never met anyone that has successfully sealed mice out of their house 100%. Usually the mice do end up getting back in eventually. So that's something that, some hot houses are just bad for mice. I've got a house that I treat every month for mice. If I don't treat them every month, they get mice in the house. I have bait stations around the outside. I have bait stations inside. If I go as much as every other month, the house is overrun with mice. The house has a triple brick foundation. It's really hard to keep the mice out of the house because the house is as old as Lynchburg. It's 200, 300 years old. It's a really old house. So it's really easy for the mice to get in. And even new construction, mice can get in new construction just as easily. They only need a hole the size of your pinky finger. I call it the rule of thumb. If your pinky can fit in the hole, a mouse can fit through the hole. If your thumb can fit through the hole, a rat can go in. So that's the way you could tell if a mouse or a rat can get into your home. So you need to go around, get some steel wool or copper mesh, and seal those holes around your house to try to keep the mice out. That's what you need to do. And that will help. Garage doors, if you have a problem where your garage door isn't sealing properly, you need to look at the rubber seal underneath the door and make sure it's actually fitting nice and tight to the floor. Even then, sometimes mice can get past that. Basement doors are real bad. Replace your sweeps on your doors. Lots of things you can do to try to exclude mice from your house that actually don't require pest control at all. It's something that you could do yourself. Or you could get a couple black snakes. Like Jennifer down here says, you can plant a couple of black snakes in the house. Black rat snakes. They'll eat mice. 1 or 2 a month. They'll eat them. If you want snakes living with you. Hello from Canada, Green Acres, and all chatters. What's your favorite show, Kojin? He says 3 a.m. What about kids' toys? So I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, Lynn. Are you talking about for bed bugs? What do you do with kids' toys for bed bugs? The only ones you typically really need to worry about... Oh, I see. What about kids' toys with treating bed bugs with Crossfire? Okay, so if they're stuffed animals, throw them in the dryer. The rest of your toys you shouldn't have to worry about. If you've got bed bugs living on the kids' toys, you need to wash the toys. You take them and wash them. If they're plastic, you can just wash them off in the sink. Clean off all the eggs and the debris, the poop and stuff they leave behind, wash them off. And otherwise they're fine. If it's stuffed animals, you can throw them in the dryer. Ice Mask says, and the random bugs all around because I work near the ocean. That'd be nice. I like the ocean. My wife's been telling me she needs to go to the beach. So I think the bumps I've gotten are just being bit on the summer Discord. We were talking about it. Oh yeah, so just in case anyone was curious, I do have a Discord in the links below in the description that you can go to, click, and become a member. And it's a lot of people. So I'm a gamer. I game. I got this on the desk. I got that. I've got games around me. So I like to play video games. And the way that me and my friends chat when we play video games is we play, we use Discord to chat back and forth. You could use voice chat and stuff like that. And so that's a good way to get in touch with me, because I have a Discord channel for Green Acres right here that you can come on. You can ask any question that you want. And a lot of times people will tell you that sometimes I don't always answer the question right away. And I've got so many people on there that, typically there's someone there that knows the answer to your problem. So you're welcome to join. And like I said, send me messages, whatever, if you want. It's kind of like texting. I have it on my phone. My Discord app's on my phone. So I can communicate with you during the day if you have a question. But Ice was talking to me. He actually had sent me some pictures of some bug bites that he had, and I was wondering if they were bed bugs or not. But I don't think it was. I think it was something that was biting him outside. Maybe sand fleas or something like that too. It could have been from the beach. Lots of things like that live at the beach. So it could have been something like that if you live near the ocean. Lynn Shelton says, what about kids' toys or treating? Oh, yeah, I've already answered that question. Let's see. Ice, I'm getting marks. Let's see. Playing a couple of snakes. So Alicia's not here tonight to help me keep up with the questions like last week. I can't explain this, but the recent one is so suspicious on my neck, I don't know what to think. So you've got bug bites, I'm guessing. Where are you from, Kojin, that it's 3 a.m.? Let me see. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So you're in British time. So you would have to be. London. Somewhere around London. Sammy for me. Hi. If Crossfire leaves a residual, how is it safe to sleep on the mattress or walk over treated areas when dry? Because Crossfire does not affect mammals. So it's non-effective to mammals. And most pesticides don't rub off on you when you sleep on them. And in fact, I try to explain this to people. So you have to understand how pesticides kill bugs. And I need to do, when I've got more time to do a video, I need to actually do a video on how pesticides kill bugs, because it would take too much to talk about on a live stream. But things don't kill bugs in the same way that it kills people. So the way that pesticides work, for example, a lot of pesticides work as a cholinesterase inhibitor. Crossfire is not one of those. Crossfire does not inhibit cholinesterase. Cholinesterase is a chemical that's in humans, mammals. It's in pretty much all living beings, living mammals, I'm not talking about plants. I'm talking about people with a nervous system. And so it causes nervous system failure. And those pesticides can be harmful to humans if overexposed. But Crossfire is not a cholinesterase inhibitor. Crossfire is a different pesticide altogether, and it really doesn't affect mammals. Once it's dry, it's not going to affect you at all. The only side effect with Crossfire is if you inhale the mist. It can harm your lungs. But that's the only side effect of Crossfire at all on animals when they were tested with it. But you're not going to inhale in a liquid Crossfire. You're just not going to do that naturally. You're going to spray it down behind your baseboards and on your furniture and stuff like that. You're not actually going to spray it in your face where you're going to breathe it in. So it doesn't actually cause problems with mammals. Not every chemical, just because it kills a bug, doesn't mean it kills a person. Bugs are not people. Bugs are bugs. People aren't even the same type of creature as an insect. Insects are mostly cold-blooded and very unique systems that are nothing like a mammal system. So they break down the insect's nervous system and not a mammal. To be as simple as I can explain without having to go into all these spreadsheets and showing you exactly how bugs die from pesticides. So hopefully I answered that question. If not, ask it a different way. Maybe I can answer it a different way. Thank you for letting me know. I'm just worried that they're going to bite the electrical and cause an issue. We found out they've been running in the attic. Oh, for the mice. Yes, and they will. They can. Rats are worse about that than mice, but mice will too. How do carpet beetle larvae enter the house? Through your windows, through your doors, over your plate, up the foundation wall. That way they come in. They can enter in through as a beetle, and the beetle can lay eggs in your house, and then you'll have carpet beetles in the house. So they're small. Carpet beetles are really small. In fact, it's real common to find in a house that I treat regularly for pesticide, pest control, pesticide residual, that you'll find dead carpet beetles in the windows, because it's really common for them, just the beetles themselves, to come in through the window and lay eggs. The larva is like a worm, like a maggot, because beetles go through metamorphosis like a butterfly. So they have cocoon stages. And yeah, so they come in, they'll lay eggs, and the larva will crawl out, and that's what you're allergic to, is the larva. How do you weaponize insects? I'm not going to answer that because I don't want to think about what people would do with the kind of knowledge of weaponizing insects. Iceman says, I mean, I couldn't have bed bugs. I just did another treatment and dried all my stuff. How do I get them out of my vacuum? It's bagless. Thank you for your time. That's a hard one. So you can treat... So the label of Crossfire. Let me explain how labels work. So I've got this warning that I put on the beginning of every of my videos. This video and all content on this channel is performed. Okay, so the label is the law. If you'll notice, the label is the law. So the reason I say the label is the law, because if the label says this is what you're supposed to treat and this is how you're supposed to treat, then you're supposed to do it that way. You're not supposed to do it any other way. So let me show you the Crossfire label. So here's Crossfire. Let's see if I go to Do My Own. It's a good site. There we go. There's Crossfire label. So if you scroll down through here for bed bugs and you read about how you're supposed to treat for bed bugs, it says for indoor use only. All right, to kill bed bugs for best results. Here we go. Let's read this part. For best results, let me see. Let me zoom in a little bit. Or if I can zoom in and make it look better. There we go. Spray bed bugs eggs directly whenever possible. Apply as a pin stream coarse spray or low pressure spray for crack and crevice, carpet perimeter. Direct spray applications in and around, and you'll have to forgive me, I'm not the best reader. In and around non-food areas where bed bugs and their eggs may hide or harbor. For example, on or around baseboards, floorboards, millwork, bed frames, headboards, wall hangings, furniture, door and window frames, walls, closets, window treatments, beneath floor coverings, as well as other non-washable items that may come into contact with bed bugs, such as luggage, shoes. See? Luggage, shoes, and backpacks. If treating a pet's living environment, spray on or around pet beds, bedding, floors, sleeping areas, and furnishings. This product can also be applied with a paintbrush to walls, baseboards, floorboards, behind wall hangings, and other similar areas. So they have changed this label a little bit, but it still pretty much tells you pretty much anywhere that bed bugs are going to be, you can spray those areas. This product is not for use on humans or animals. Do not spray product directly on pets. Not for broadcast use. Do not use in commercial food feed processing, preparation, food feed storage or serving areas. In the home, all food processing services and utensils should be covered during treatment or thoroughly washed before use. Cover or remove exposed food or feed. Remove pets, birds, cover fish aquariums before spraying. This product will not stain water-safe fabrics and surfaces. However, care should be taken in an inconspicuous area for staining prior to use. Do not allow adults or children to re-enter the area until surfaces are dry. Do not apply to plants or crops. Do not treat when occupants are present. Do not apply as a space spray, which is in the air. Do not wet articles to the point of runoff or drip. And do not use treated articles until spray has dried. So, to answer your question, how do you get them out of your vacuum? Well, open your vacuum, get your canister, treat the canister, let it dry, put it back together, vacuum like normal. That's what I would do, personally. That's what I would do. Because you read the label, you could pretty much spray anywhere you want with Crossfire, as long as it's allowed to dry before you use it. Now, you don't want to use your vacuum cleaner while it's wet, because you don't want to aerosol the pesticide into the air where you're going to breathe it. So that's a problem. You don't want to use it if it's not thoroughly dry, because it's not going to aerosol into the air if it's dried. So that's the only answer I can give you. I have a cloth rocking horse. Do you have bed bugs living on the rocking horse? Ice Mask says, okay. Kojin, there's so much to read tonight. I'm so sorry for taking a little while. Kojin Master says you should try. Let's see. The technician that was treating my work was carrying a B&G tank. Oh yeah, of course. Of course it's best. I told her about your channel. Dolphin says, but the real question, my exterminator has been using Crossfire as a general pesticide to spray around my house. Is this normal or should I fire him? So if they're using Crossfire because they're concerned you might get bed bugs, then it's completely legal to do that. You can use Crossfire as a preventative pesticide all the time. It's not labeled for all bugs, but if the exterminator is worried you might get bed bugs, then there's nothing wrong with using it in your apartment. It's going to kill pretty much all the insects in your apartment just because of the active ingredients that are in Crossfire will kill other bugs. I wouldn't recommend it for other bugs because it's really expensive. It costs a lot of money, and there are cheaper alternatives out there that work as good or better than Crossfire for other bugs. But if he's using Crossfire, it's because he's concerned you might get bed bugs. If you live in an apartment, it could be because someone nearby has bed bugs and they don't want you to get them. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if you live in, especially if it's a multi-unit apartment building, then, they would need to be able to treat your apartment with it. Let's see. Is it best to wear a mask as a precaution when using Crossfire? I mean, you can if you're concerned. I always tell people use what makes you comfortable as long as it's within the label, because if you go back through and you read the label, it says applicators and other handlers must wear long sleeve shirt, long pants, shoes, and socks. Okay, you have to wear that. That's what you're required to wear by label. So basically, don't do it naked. But it says follow manufacturer's instructions for cleaning, maintaining PPE. If no such instructions for washables exist, use detergent, hot water. So discard clothing and absorbent materials that have been drenched or heavily contaminated with the product's concentrate. Don't reuse them. So, basically, if you want to wear a mask and you feel safe wearing a mask while applying it, then by all means do that. If you're spraying a lot above head and you're worried the drift is going to get into your lungs, or you're going to breathe it in, then by all means wear a mask. I do. When I apply, so I wear gloves. Every single pesticide I apply, no matter what the label. Even Crossfire does not require you to wear gloves. Most pesticides do. Crossfire does not, because it's so safe to use around mammals. It's not really going to hurt you, but I still wear gloves anyway because I think it's good practice to wear gloves no matter what kind of pesticide you use. And the label may change in the future. The problem is that pesticide labels change all the time. If for some reason a label in the future, all of a sudden they find out, oh, this might actually be harmful for you to have on your hands all the time, then you need to wear gloves. Well, I've already been wearing gloves, so I don't have to worry about it. In fact, this is one of the things that I've noticed is because I'm in the field all the time and I'm always working with pesticides, I notice a lot of things start happening with my customers with chemical interactions before the labels change. And so I will stop using a pesticide. So Durazban was one. This is the most recent one that was outlawed years ago, back in between 2004 and 2007. And I was noticing when I would go in and use it as a pesticide, now not at every customer's house, but there were a couple people that would start to develop headaches. And they say, last time you came in and treated, I started to develop a headache, and I would rather you not use the same thing you used indoors last time. So I just stopped using it, and come to find out that that's one of the side effects of a petroleum distillate pesticide, pesticides with petroleum in them, that they can lead to headaches because they have a petroleum product in them. And so this is something I stopped using, years before they started saying, you really shouldn't use these pesticides indoors anymore because it's causing people to have like mild headaches and stuff like that. It's not killing anybody, but yeah, it's causing discomfort. So, like I said, nothing wrong with Precaution. Safety's always better. Let's see. Don't thank me. I'm glad to be here, says Kojin Master. Appreciate your time. I just bought your Udemy course. Udemy. I don't know how it's pronounced. I've got a course on there. What's the best way to get rid of gophers? Lead poisoning. Kojin Master says, ask the audience, can you feel bed bugs crawling on you? Yeah, I mean, you can. You absolutely can. John Torres says, hey, Jason, what do you recommend for mosquitoes? I don't really do a lot of mosquito treatments. I treat around the exterior of the house. Bifenthrin's probably the best thing for them, one of the best pesticides for them, but I don't do yard treatments for mosquitoes because I feel like it's a waste of money. The amount of area you would have to treat, and if you're in a tightly, like I'm on a half-acre lot. All my neighbors are on half-acre lots. I'm in a subdivision. If everybody doesn't treat their yard, if I walk outside, the neighbors' mosquitoes are going to come bite me. I treated my yard this year. I still have mosquitoes. It doesn't stop the mosquitoes from coming. If you have a yard that's 5-6 acres, then the acreage is so extreme that you're having to treat so much property that it's almost not really worth the money. Ice Mask just donated $2. Thank you very much, Ice Mask. I appreciate that. Y'all don't have to do that. If you really don't. So Caveman says, I've been free of... Oh, but for mosquitoes, one thing I do recommend people do, on a side note, is if you've got boxwoods around the house, treat your soffits, treat around your windows and doors, places you see. If you see a spider web that's got mosquitoes in it, treat that area. The mosquitoes are roosting in that area. They're coming to that area. If you have a dusk to dawn light or an outside light that stays on all the time, treat around that area. So when the mosquitoes come to the house, they land on the wall and they die. Actually, I had to treat a property just today where they've got a problem where every time it rains, it's in the city, every time it rains, the drainage is so poor that the water kind of lays there for like a day or two after it's rained. And in fact, the gravel dirt causes a muddy, swampy kind of a condition, and they've got a horrible problem with mosquitoes breeding. And so you could treat areas like that. You could treat the wall and the like a spot treatment on the wall around lights and places, so that when the mosquitoes actually come and land on the wall, they die. And so that's usually what I recommend for areas like mosquitoes. Shady spots under the bushes, like up underneath the boxwoods, evergreens and stuff where they're leafy and they create lots of shady spots. Basically what I tell people is, if you see a spot where a dog would like to go and lay down, or a cat, those are the areas you want to treat kind of heavily for mosquitoes, because those are the areas the mosquitoes are going to want to roost during the day, and that will kill the mosquitoes off. Jennifer says, do you ever feel paranoid if a hair or a food crumb drops on your skin? To Caveman. Thank you about the mask and glove recommendation. I wasn't sure because it wasn't on the label. Yeah, but see, I wear gloves every time. In fact, I had a customer ask me one time, she said, if Crossfire is so safe to use around people, then why are you wearing gloves? And I looked right at her and I said, because I wear gloves every single time I apply pesticide. One of the things is I have to mix it. And when you're going to, the number one, and this is what they teach you when you get your license, the number one time, the top time you're actually going to infect yourself with a pesticide or make yourself sick with a pesticide is when you're mixing. So I wear gloves always when I'm handling pesticides. I think it should be a practice for no matter what the label says. Somebody is moving around behind me making a bunch of racket. My son's walking back and forth behind me. He usually doesn't do that. So let's see. I get those phantom bites all the time, and I can never stop thinking about bed bugs. I know once you have them, it affects you. It's like you never can get it out of your head. You're always worried that you got something. I tell you, so I go in houses. One thing that hits me are lice. So there's not a lot pest control can do for lice, per se. I mean, you could go in, you could treat the house for general pest control, like you normally would, and it will help keep the lice down. But the problem is that lice live on people. And whenever, I'm starting to itch right now on my skin, but when people start calling me and they ask, hey, what can you do for lice? My daughter just came home from school and she's got head lice. I immediately start to itch and scratch. I get those phantom bites, like they're crawling on me. So that's my thing that makes me itch. In fact, there was a video on YouTube or Facebook that was circulating around that I actually had that is on my Facebook page. If anyone checks that, that's in the description. I believe it's in the description below too. But I've got that video through there somewhere of a guy that had really bad head lice. So if you want to gross yourself out. So Jennifer says you have a cumulative exposure. So cumulative exposure is when you are constantly exposed to a chemical and your body has not had time to eliminate the pesticide. So this is something that you get in pest control all the time because you're around pesticides all the time. It gets on your skin, and no matter how much PPE you try to wear, you're always going to expose yourself at some point to a pesticide. And this actually was a really serious problem. This is another reason they took Durazban and Diazinon off the market, and Chloridane, is because these pesticides would build up in the system over time and you wouldn't eliminate them fast enough before you would get sick. And so, but a lot of the newer pesticides actually don't have the same problem cumulative as the older chemicals do. So your body's actually able to notice them quicker and eliminate them faster. So they actually don't build up in your system as bad as some of the older pesticides. So that is one plus in pest control that, I'm not actually, yes, I'm exposed to them a lot, but they don't stay in your system as much as some of the older chemicals would. It says, no, I've only seen a few in my kids' playroom. I only treat the house on the 15th. Thank you all for your help. My husband can sleep now. That's fantastic. But yeah, I think people go really extreme when it comes to a bedbug treatment. Once you see bed bugs and you notice that you have them, it's like, oh, now where are they? Are they here? Are they there? Are they in the kids' clothes? Are they in my dresser? Are they in the bathroom? Are they on my towels? Are they all over my house? And you get this thought that maybe they're there, or if you think they're there, then they're there. But that's actually not the way bed bugs are. Bed bugs prefer to live around a food source, usually within 10 feet of a food source. And that could be anywhere. If it's a small bedroom, it could literally be anywhere in the room. But they're typically going to live really, really close to you. They like to live on your box springs, not so much on the mattress. They will live on a mattress, but they prefer to really live inside the box springs, around your headboard, footboard, bed rails, places that aren't as motion, like they don't receive as much vibration. They don't live on your carpets, on your floors. They live down near the edges of the wall, down near the baseboard, the carpet fibers that go into the baseboard right there. But that area doesn't get a lot of vibration. When you walk through your room, the places that are going to be the most heavily trafficked are places you're not going to find bed bugs. You're going to find them on your bed when you're asleep, dead asleep, and the bed bugs can come up, they feel safe, they'll bite you, and then they'll retreat away. And then you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh man, I got a bite on me now. That bug must have bit me last night. But they don't live everywhere. They really don't. In fact, out of, let's say, 100 bed bug jobs, probably 4 or 5, maybe 10 of them, 10% of the bed bug jobs I do have them as bad to where they actually are living everywhere. Most of the jobs I do, they're not. Most of the jobs that I do, they're, so I went to a house yesterday. I did a bed bug job yesterday for a lady, and she threw away all of her furniture. She threw away her couches. She threw away her love seats. She threw her mattresses and her box springs away. And the bed bugs weren't even that bad. It wasn't necessary to go and throw away all of her furniture. But she did anyway, because she thought the bed bugs were so bad she had to throw away her furniture. That's how you get rid of them. Bed bugs were still in the house. Even though she threw away all of her furniture, she still had bed bugs. And then she went and ordered a brand new bed. So, you order a brand new bed, bed bugs are just going to move on the brand new bed. So you need to make sure you treat all that stuff. And if you're going to treat it and kill them, then why do you need to throw away all your furniture? You can steam clean your furniture. If you're really icked out by the fact that they've defecated on your furniture, well, then you can clean that. You can clean it. You can steam clean it. You can vacuum it. You can get that stuff off of there. It won't stay there forever. Peroxide and a good, bit of elbow grease, and you can clean your furniture back up to brand new. So, Caveman says, sometimes you feel bed bugs even when they're not there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the phantom thing. John Torres says, Jason, my truck needs new warning danger pesticide stickers. Where do I get them? I don't know. You know, I don't see in Virginia we're not required to have stickers on our vehicles. My vehicle is labeled as pest control, so I don't have stickers on my vehicle. You can always check with a vinyl, you know, sticker manufacturer or something like that. I use a local guy in town. That's who wrapped my car, so they could do them. Jennifer Lego says, get rid of standing stagnant water. That's true. Let's see. I don't use essential oils because essential oils are not proven. So how-to videos that dropped in that little tidbit, they're not proven effective. So that's why I don't recommend them. Thank you for your help. I'm going to treat with Crossfire tomorrow morning. Should I steam my mattress or box spring couch furniture prior to treatment? Yes, before treatment. If you're going to steam, do it before treatment. Don't do it after. Would you recommend Novacide for fleas, or what spray would you recommend? I recommend Alpine WSG for fleas, and if you want an IGR, use Nygaard. Nygaard works really well for fleas. That's what I recommend. It's on my channel, so let me show you. Let me do this. This is a plug. I don't like to do this very often, but Jennifer usually has links. Here's my Amazon page. Links are in the description. In fact, I can link it right now. For people that are asking, you know, what products work for this and what products work for that. If you scroll down, there's bed bugs there, there's ticks there, ants there, stink bugs, spiders, bed bugs in New York and Canada, lice, carpenter bees, bird mites, springtails, cockroaches, mouse, fleas. So you go down to fleas, and I've got these. Now, Nygaard's not in here. I need to re-add it because it got taken away. But here's Alpine. Here's this is also an IGR. So IGRs are usually added to a pesticide. If you don't want to use an IGR, you don't have to. This is enough. This is enough to kill fleas. Alpine is all you really need to kill fleas. So that's what I would recommend. You don't have to have an IGR. It's only if you want to. But read your labels. Make sure you mix it properly. So that's why I include that there. But Nygaard should be in there too, but it's not. In fact, I do have a link to a B&G. So B&Gs on Amazon are outrageously expensive. So I did get a link. Let me see if I can open it up. Let's see here. I have to find it. Because I said I was going to do it, and I did it, and I got the link. I did do that a couple days ago for you guys. I actually bought a new B&G for my daughter. Let's see here. Content says I have it on, I think, my latest video. There it is. So this is this is a link. This is an affiliate link. I do make percentage if you use this link, but it's through Do My Own, and that's for if you want to check that link. That's a B&G from I think Do My Own is the website. It is an affiliate link. So, let's see. Wonderlust says hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Here's my channel with all my videos. I'm actually going to do some new shorts here, but I've got one up right here for cleaning a vehicle. Actually, no, treating a vehicle. That's my treat a vehicle for bed bugs. Temperate versus Crossfire. So if you're curious about Temperate or Crossfire, this is a video I just did. This is my most recent video. So, but yes, like and subscribe to the channel so you can see when I'm live. You know, there I am live right there. So, let's see here. Novacide, like I said, Novacide is not something that I would recommend. I would recommend Alpine. Let's see. All I would say is take all your stuff you have that's washable, bag it, treat it in your room. What's not that's treatable with Crossfire. Yeah. So Depending on, like I said, if you're really just paranoid and you're scared. So there's been, my wife read an article to me today about treating with Vicane. So Vicane sulfurofluoride is what Vicane is. It's toxic to mammals. It's a newer type of treatment for bed bugs. Now, it's been around for a long time. People used to use sulfurofluoride for things like drywood termites and carpenter ants and other wood destroying insects. It's a very toxic chemical. It's used as a gas, so it's not a fog, it's a gas. It penetrates through the wall and kills the bugs where they live. Bed bugs live in the wall. And so there's a new study that's been released about bed bugs and using containment. So like if you had a U-Haul or a car, an automobile, you could treat an automobile with sulfurofluoride, and it's 100% effective, kills all the bed bugs. So you can take like paintings, computers, TVs, things that are, a heat treatment, or even spraying with pesticides would destroy these items. So you could take them and you could put them into like a U-Haul, and you can use Vicane and kill everything in the vehicle. And it actually does work. It's 100% effective. The problem with a Vicane treatment, and I've said this so many times, I don't know how many times, is the exact same problem that a heat treatment has, is that when the pesticide machine is turned off, the Vicane is gone. Usually within a few hours, it dissipates in the environment. It's no longer effective. It doesn't kill anything. There's no residue. There's no residual left behind to kill the bugs that you're reinfesting with. So let's throw a scenario out there. This is the most common scenario with bed bugs, is if you live in an apartment and you have a problem with bed bugs, okay? You don't know where the bed bugs came from, but you have bed bugs. You eliminate the bed bugs in your apartment. You maybe watched my stream. Maybe you watched my YouTube channel. Maybe you learned how to kill them yourself and you got rid of your bed bugs. 6, 7, 8 months, maybe even a year goes by and you haven't had any bed bugs, but all of a sudden you start getting bit by bed bugs again. Where did they come from? Where did you get them? You don't know where you got them in the first place. The first time you treated, now you have them again. Where did they come from? You don't know. So let's assume they came from a relative. Say you gave somebody a ride, or you helped somebody move and you infested your car. And so every time, now you've gotten rid of your bed bugs again, but now you've got this nagging problem where every time you go to Target or Home Depot or wherever and you bring your stuff in the house, it's got bed bugs on it because the bed bugs are in your car. So the idea is, well, let's treat the car. So you treat the car with Vicane and you kill all the bed bugs in the car. Bed bugs are all dead in the car. Bed bugs are dead in your apartment, but you're still driving this guy to work, or you're still taking this person around town and they reinfest your car with bed bugs and you bring the bed bugs right back in the house. You've spent all this money to treat your car with Vicane, and now you just reinfest again and again and again. And so how many times do you want to treat your vehicle? How much money do you have to just throw away on something that has no residual? Where Crossfire lasts 30 days, Crossfire is even effective in a higher heat type environment where, like in your automobile, it doesn't break down as quickly as some other chemicals would, and it lasts a long time. So if you are taking that guy to work and you don't realize that he's putting bed bugs in your car, or you help this lady get her, maybe you help somebody go to CVS and get her appointments done and her doctor appointment and stuff, and you're riding people around like a taxi cab, well, now you know that your car has been treated and you don't have to worry about bed bugs reinfesting your car. That is more effective than a gas treatment. But that's the newer thing. So look for that to come up, that, when you start calling your exterminator and you start getting these prices for pest control, they're going to start telling you, oh, well, you need to do a gas treatment. So I've done a video on Vicane before. I talked about how dangerous it can be, because it is very dangerous, but I ought to just go and just talk just common sense. So that'll probably be the video. Look for Tuesday. I'll probably talk about Vicane. I don't know. I haven't recorded a video for Tuesday yet. Last week, or this week, the video on tempered versus Crossfire, I made that video and then I edited that video and I put that video together all in the same day and put it up that night to release live on Tuesday. So sometimes it's down to the wire with me and my editing and my videos, because I don't really know, unless I get a question that's going to make a video I don't know what to talk about. So if you guys want to ask me questions, please leave a comment below and ask me. And I would love to make a video on your questions because this is what I like to do. This is my hobby. Yeah, I do pest control for a living, but I also live, eat, and breathe pest control. I like it. So I look forward to answering any questions that you have. So let's see. Lice in the hair. Douse with olive oil and comb with a special lice comb every day for several days to get all the eggs and nits. That does work. That does work really well. Olive oil in the hair for lice only works for regular lice. I got lice when I lived in Saipan. I'm ignorant. Sorry. I brought back to the States and it required medication to get rid of. Yeah, that's true. So if you have lice to the point where you cannot get rid of them with like a regular Nix or, you know, a lice comb or something like that, then sometimes you do have to get medication to kill the lice. And the medication works. It will work. So let's see. What are your thoughts on using a bat house for mosquito control? It works. They work. Bats will eat mosquitoes. Bats are actually more effective than other things for mosquitoes. Even so much. Some people even argue bats are more effective than pest control because they eat so many mosquitoes a night. They eat 10 times their body weight in mosquitoes every night. So they're actually very effective. But you want to keep the bats away from the house. You want to put them out in the yard, out somewhere, so that they're not actually tempted to roost on your house. That they would roost out in the yard rather than on your house. Typically up like 5-6 feet up off the ground, even further up if you can, 8-9 feet off the ground, where they like to be up high, roosting in the little boxes. So, what's in Crossfire that makes it work so good? So Crossfire is a mixture of 3 different pesticides. Let's see. Do I still have the label up? Yes, I do. Oh, by the way, go here and subscribe. This is Green Acres YouTube.com/Green Acres PC. So that's right there. Green Acres PC. In fact, I think it's even up there. Yeah, it's right up there on my stream. But anyway, let's look at the label for Crossfire. So the ingredients of Crossfire are, let's see if I can zoom in even better. There we go. I'm going to try to say these. Clothianidin, metafluthrin, pybranobutoxide. I believe pybranobutoxide or pyperonal, I don't know. I've probably been saying it wrong for years. That pesticide right there is probably what makes Crossfire work the best, because that pesticide works as a catalyst. In fact, you can get it by itself. It's in Zenprox. That's predominantly what Zenprox is. It's pybranobutoxide. But what it does is it works like a catalyst for bugs that develop immunity to pesticide. So Crossfire is actually for, it says it kills bed bugs and bed bug eggs specifically formulated to kill pyrethroid resistant and or field and or wild bed bug strains. So this is actually for things like bat bugs and other types of bed bug as well. And this will kill those bugs. It is a very unique pesticide because it has pybranobutoxide in it. So from what I understand, bed bugs, cockroaches, and other types of bugs are inherently born out of their egg with an immunity to some pesticides. They have a resistance to pesticides when they're young. Roaches, it will wane as they get older. And so a lot of times when you treat a home for like German cockroaches, a lot of times you see the last stages you find are babies. And it's not necessarily because the egg has just hatched, but it's because when they're young, they are more resistant to pesticides than when they're older. So a lot of times you'll find a lot of older cockroaches dead, but a lot of younger cockroaches still alive. And so pybranobutoxide, what that does is it lessens that resistance, that chemical in their body that makes them resistant to pesticides. And so that's why I believe that Crossfire is probably the end-all solution to bed bugs because it has the butoxide in it. And unless bugs become immune to butoxide, I don't see Crossfire failing to work, because I have used butoxide in other pesticide mixes, and it has caused a chemical resistant cockroach to actually die from that chemical, where I know that if I spray that one pesticide in that place, that it is not going to kill roaches, but when you mix it with butoxide, all of a sudden it kills those roaches again. So it is a very good chemical. It works really well, and that is why I believe personally that Crossfire works so much better than other pesticides. So that's just personal belief. It's a hunch. And that's what the sales guy says. You know, that's the same thing he says, but I know what butoxide does because I've researched it. So, can someone be infested with both fleas and bed bugs at the same time? Yes, they can, and I have been in houses with both. So, absolutely. What's in Crossfire that makes it work so good? Let's see. See, I skip over questions. I am sorry. I am trying to keep up. I'm actually more alert tonight because I just had coffee. So that's why I had coffee, so I could come on here and talk to you guys and not feel like I was going to fall asleep. Last week I was so bad. I was so bad off last week. I was exhausted. So because I have to. The thing is, I work all day, and then I come home at night and I play with the kids, and they'll tire you out. And then you put them to bed at 9:30, and then I come online and I talk to you guys for a couple hours. So I'm sorry if I seem tired sometimes when I do these streams. I am tired. If I seem tired, it's because I am tired. Jennifer Balasa. That's an interesting last name. So I got two Jennifers now. I got to make sure. Jennifer B. I call you Jennifer B. Hi there, fella. I am new, 3 days old to bed bugs. I already have PTSD from these nasty buggers. I have been watching your videos and learning so much from you. Thank you for sharing this information. Well, you're welcome. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If I treat once a month for bed bugs, how many months do I treat if I'm just starting? So I do once. And then if people have a problem after 50 days, I go back and treat again. But typically I have to do maybe 5 or 6 retreats a year off of all the bed bug jobs I do. It's very rare that you have to go back on a bed bug job. Can a dog or cat bring in bed bugs? No. I have just figured out how to talk to you. Crossfire, is this pet friendly? How long does it last before the need to reapply for safe measures? So far, I have squashed many bugs and eggs. So Crossfire allows for retreatment as less as 7 days, but as much as once a month. So I usually tell people to treat once a month. Remove your pets from the home and don't allow them to re-enter for 2 to 3 hours until it's dry. Sometimes it dries sooner. If you turn ceiling fans on and open your windows and get a good cross breeze, sometimes it's dry in 30 minutes. But I usually tell people an hour or 2. And this is not because it harms the pet. It's not because I'm worried that a dog is going to go and lick it up. It's because if a dog or a cat jumps on a bed that was treated with Crossfire or a sofa, and they soak the chemical up into their fur, and then they jump off of the couch, the chemical is no longer on the couch. The chemical is no longer on the mattress where it needs to be. It's on the cat. So it's not going to hurt the cat. It's not going to hurt the dog. But they're going to take it away from where it needs to be. So you need to make sure you remove your pets from the house, treat the house, let it dry, and put them back in. Sometimes I even tell people, just put them in the bathroom. You could, if you don't have a pet carrier or something like that, you don't want to put your cats in your car, then you can take them and put them in like a carrier or something and set them in the bathroom so that they're out of the way and they're not going to go jump on your furniture. It's not going to harm them. It's not going to hurt them. You just don't want them to jump on it and take the chemical away from where it's been treated. So, but it's not going to hurt them. It's actually one of the safest pesticides you can use indoors for around your pets or children, for that matter. Just like I said, I usually tell people that if you're concerned, as long as you follow the label, you're not going to hurt anyone. You follow the label is the law. The label, imagine yourself as a chemical company. You're creating pesticides. Pesticides kill things. You don't want the pesticides to kill your customers. You don't want them to kill their children. You don't want the pesticides to kill their pets. So you instruct the person this is the safe way to apply this pesticide so you don't harm this or this or this. As long as you follow that label, as long as you do what you're told, you're not going to hurt anybody. Pesticides are a lot safer than people realize. Yes, they're toxic because they kill bugs. As long as you treat them with admiration, so to speak, you treat them with kid gloves, then you're not going to hurt anyone. You're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to hurt anyone. So. And Jennifer Lego says the same thing, is apply product, let it dry before allowing pets back in around it. And that's the same thing I said. So have you ever heard of a cone nose or a bigger bed bug? No, I've never heard of that. Jennifer B says, I put down baking soda and have used alcohol to kill some, I think. But this is, so baking soda does not kill bed bugs. That's a myth. It is something people use, but it is a myth. It does not work that well. Alcohol will kill bed bugs, but it doesn't last. It evaporates super quickly. So, alcohol is not something I usually recommend to treat for bed bugs. In fact, I don't recommend using alcohol to treat for bed bugs because after you've used Crossfire, because the alcohol is a type of a solvent and it can cause chemical reactions with pesticides. So you don't want to use alcohol when you've used a pesticide, especially on your mattress where you've just treated with Crossfire. Crossfire can be used everywhere. I just read the label. In fact, I'll just scroll down so you guys can look at it if you want. Let's see here. So these are the places this is how you treat with Crossfire. So I'll just leave that there if anyone wants to read that. But yeah, it's safe. It's not going to hurt anybody. That guy says, fleas are all over my room, but I don't really see them in other places around my house. Do fleas sometimes act this way and stay in one place? They can. They will travel through the house just like other bugs will, but if they're happy where they are, they'll stay where they are. They will move and migrate though. So let's say your dog bed is at the foot of your bed and your dog brought fleas in the house, and so the fleas are living on the dog bed and maybe on the foot of your bed. If you move the dog's bed to, say, the living room, fleas are going to migrate to the living room to where the dog is. But if the fleas are happy where they are, they'll live where they are. They don't have to live in other rooms of the house. They could be perfectly happy just staying there. But if you could pick them up and take them into other rooms, you can. And then you end up infesting your whole house eventually. Eventually, they'll be in every room. They will move out, spread out. Next step is treating the hubby's car for bed bugs. He has been gone for 2 weeks. I have a video on that, on how to treat cars for bed bugs. I recommend treating it. In fact, typically, if the customer can stay around when I do a bed bug job, I usually do the cars first. I treat the car first, and I ask the customer, they can hang out while I'm there, whether it's on the porch or whatever. It's easy this time of year because it's warm. And so I'm like, if you guys could just hang out on the screened-in porch or, just kind of hang out outside after I treat your car, then by the time I'm done with the house, the car should be dry and you could leave, and then you can come back in the house when it's dry. And they're usually completely, oh, yeah, you're going to treat our car? Yeah, sure, we'll wait, because they don't want to accidentally, bring any bed bugs. A lot of people don't know how they got bed bugs. And so they think, well, maybe it's because I took this guy for a ride, or maybe it's when my kids had friends over. Maybe it's when I had that backpack from that one guy, or maybe that piece of used furniture I put in the trunk. That might be when I got them. So it's good practice to treat the car along with the house for bed bugs. Hey, Jason, from Andre. Hey, Jason, what is your method? I haven't seen you in a while, Andre. Where have you been? What is your method for exterior ant treatments? Do you get many recalls for these? Does ant type affect the results? Yes, ant type does affect the type of pesticide. So I typically use a repellent around the outside of the house, like a synthetic pyrethroid and granules. I feel like if ants are outside, then they're not bothering anybody. If the ants are getting into a post or a mailbox or a soffit or something like that, then yeah, you want to try to take care of that problem because they could get worse and they could end up in the house. But typically, if ants are just crawling around, just kind of minding their own business, just crawling around looking for some food outside somewhere, I usually just tell the customer, ants are doing what ants are doing. They're not in the house. They're not bothering you indoors. Let the ants be. And most customers are perfectly fine with that. As long as they understand that those ants, that you have a proper barrier around the house to keep the ants out, then that doesn't bother them as bad. Then they realize, okay, those ants aren't bothering me because they're outside. As long as they're not getting into the living space, they're not bothering me. And they're okay with that. So that's really a lot having to do with education. There are a couple of customers I have that just hate ants. And I try to treat a little extra heavy around the house to try to eliminate that problem. Samari is a good chemical for ants. Most ants are actually on the label of Samari. It is amazingly good, effective chemical. I have been using it for about 2.5 months. It is phenomenal. It is just hands down one of the best ant pesticides I've ever used. But I will tell you, if you use Samari for ants, expect to get a call back within 3 weeks because of the way it works, because it's such a slow kill on the ant colony, that people actually will call you and they'll say the ants are everywhere. And they will be, but they'll be like half drunk because they're dying. And they'll just be all over the place because it kind of messes with them, I've noticed. It's unique. It's a very unique chemical. I've never noticed this before with other pesticides. So if you decide to use that, that's something you may run into. And I will be right back. All right. So, sorry. I'm back. So let's see. I need to make a new scene that says I have used bathroom. That's what I need to do. All right. So I have yet to order Crossfire, but I will. Jennifer says, I made the mistake of ordering a cheapo tank to apply. It leaked everywhere. Order the B&G. B&Gs are phenomenal. In fact, let me... I've got a brand new one. Hold on just a minute. All right. This is my new B&G. This is for my daughter. My daughter is 8 years old. So for those that don't know, I have a baby due in October. And my son, my oldest, started working with me when he was 8. So Emma has worked with me before, but she was very young. She really couldn't do a lot. She just kind of walked around with me. But I bought her one of these. And just to show you the difference, I'll just do a quick product review here. So when you order a B&G, I always get the 18-inch wand. It's a long wand. Let's open it up here. Show you what it looks like. This is brand new. It's brand new. It's never been opened. It's still in the bag. Still in the bag. Do I have a knife? I don't think YouTube would like it if I showed a knife on camera. So how about I use a staple remover? So there's the wand. Now, if you're going to kill bed bugs, you're going to treat bed bugs. This is the multi-jet tip. This is what makes B&G. This is one of the things that makes B&G so cool, is that they've got this tip on them. If my camera will focus, I don't think it's going to. Well, anyway, it's got a fan spray. It's got a coarse fan spray and a heavy light fan spray. It's got a little pin stream tip, and so you can adjust it. You loosen this little cap right here, and you adjust it, and that allows for you to be able to. And I bought this. I think I bought this. Let's see, who did I buy this from? I think I bought this from Do Your Own, which is the link that I gave in the thing. Then you've got your tank. So this is another reason that you don't want to buy a cheap tank, because that's solid metal. That's brass. All right, that's not plastic. That's brass. That's going to last forever. I still have my original tanks, 5 years old, and you won't get a plastic tank to last 5 years. You just won't. But it's got the check valve here. Sometimes you have to replace those. Not very often, maybe once a year or so. You have to replace your check valve. But it's a stainless steel tank. See? It's stainless steel, solid metal. The only thing I don't like about B&Gs is they used to weld these. And they used to have a welded holster here for your wand. I don't use this because this breaks. This will break. It's plastic. It's crap. But it allows you to have a different color. So I got pink for my daughter because she likes pink. And then it comes with a hose. Here's your hose. Already wrapped with Teflon tape. So it's ready to go. You just have to hook it up and you're good to go. So that's what I got from my daughter. And I got a picture of her somewhere. And she really liked it. So she's kind of excited. I was actually surprised she was excited that she remembered so much about going to pest control with me, but she can't wait. She can't wait. So when my youngest is born, she's probably going to start going with me while Rory stays at home and helps with the wife. So I'm going to try to find a picture of her so I can show you what she looks like with her tank, if I can pull it up here. I don't know. I don't think I can find it. It's on Facebook somewhere. It's somewhere out there. So let's see. Let me catch back up now that I showed you what a B&G looks like. So Pavement Ants. Let's see. Andre says, I'm pretty good with carpenter ants. It's the pavement ants that have well-established colonies under interlock and well-sunken patio stones. Yeah, they are really hard to get rid of. So typically, so that's, I haven't tried Samari yet on pavement ants or the bait. I'm not sure if it's even labeled for them. I'm not sure if it's specifically labeled for pavement ants, because there's different species of ants that live under pavement that Yes, there is a name, Pavement Ants, that applies to a specific type of ant, but lots of ants live under pavers that people call pavement ants. So I'm not sure if Samari is going to work necessarily on all of them or not. Because if you know as well as I do, pesticides work differently on different species of ants. So hopefully it'll work. I'm not sure. Give it a shot, see how it works. The bait, Samari, the bait, actually can be used right alongside the liquid. Even if you spray it and then put the bait in the liquid itself, the spray, it won't hurt the bait. The ants will still eat it. So it's a bait that you can use around your Samari liquid pesticide, and they actually work together. So you could try that and see how that works if Niban isn't working for you, because Niban does work pretty good on pavement ants. Jason, I put some outdoor furniture in my expedition and found it was covered in black widows. Anyway, what do you recommend to spray my expedition that'll kill in contact any spiders that are left? So you're talking about inside a vehicle. See, that's one of the problems with pesticides in vehicles is you have to get something that's something I would not know, because I've never sprayed vehicles for spiders. I would imagine you could treat it just like a house. The problem is that most pesticides don't work well under heat, and vehicles do get hot. Now, Crossfire, Tempered, a couple of them are actually labeled to use around higher heat areas, because a lot of them, they figure you might be doing a heat treatment for bed bugs, and so you might need it to get, to a certain high temperature. But not every pesticide works that way. And a lot of your ant pesticides, like Demon, for example, like Demon Max, which is a synthetic pyrethroid, doesn't behave well in really hot areas. So it's hard for me to actually give you a good recommendation. I can look it up for you and I can give you a DM, or I can maybe make a video on it later, maybe to do one of the little short videos that lasts like a minute to help people get rid of bugs in their car, and see if I can do that. I'll go back and research. So that's what I tell my customers too. If I don't know the answer, I'll look it up and I'll let you know. So sorry I can't give you an answer now, or the audience. I'm sorry. I will look it up though, and I'll let you know. Dorabella says, I have a recliner and use Crossfire and haven't seen or been bit for 2 months and haven't sprayed. Should I spray again? I live in an apartment. If you haven't had any more bed bugs, you probably killed them all. Will vacuuming eventually get rid of the fleas on the carpet? Okay, so if you spray with Alpine on your floor, let it dry, and then every day vacuum your floor 2 or 3 times a day, or at least once a day. At least once a day. Some people don't want to vacuum twice a day, but at least once a day. Vacuum your floor every single day. Don't miss a day. Vacuum every day. Every bit of your floor. Usually within 21 days, all the fleas are dead. So that's what I recommend. Having a raccoon keep going into my yard and trying to get into the house by chewing at my windows, how would you recommend to take care of them? Trap it and kill it and get rid of it. That's what I would do. I trap raccoons, and I have to kill them all the time. So that's what I would do. Let's see, what is this? I know that's what the Exterminator said about heat treatments. I'm so mad. We didn't know the house had bed bugs before we purchased. I've also never seen one before. So have you not seen any bed bugs in the house? Moved into a house, had a failed heat treatment for bed bugs. I have cardboard boxes full of stuff I haven't unpacked. Should I treat around them before I unpack? Okay, so I have a video about this. So let's share my screen. I actually made a video about this. So if you go to my channel and subscribe right there, you got to plug it. Every time I come, you got to plug it. You got to do that. That's what I'm doing, right? And then click moving, or type moving in the search bar right there. And enter. There we go. First video. Moving and bed bugs. How to avoid moving with bed bugs. Don't take bed bugs with you when you move. Guaranteed. So I recommend this video. This video will help you. So if you go here and then share and then copy, and then I'll post it in here. There you go. Take a look at that video. That will help you. So I recommend to when you're dealing with moving in bed bugs, and this is whether you're moving into a house with an already established infestation or moving from a house with an established infestation, is you want to treat the house thoroughly all around the inside. Your baseboards, windowsills, door frames, your molding, like around the outside of the window, not on the outside of the house, but on the inside window frame, all the way around the frame. If you have crown molding, treat the crown molding. Treat, throughout the entire house. Then you want to treat your mattress, box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, couch, love seat, lazy boy recliners, pull-out sofas. All that furniture gets treated too. The legs that touch the floor, the frames, all around the staples, everything. Use Crossfire. That's what I recommend because it's non-repellent. The bed bugs don't know it's there. Okay, so, and then use everything like you normally would. Use your beds. Because the thing is the people who sold you the house, they knew the bed bugs were there. They cleaned the house before you bought it. And so you didn't know the house had bed bugs in it when you moved in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get a little more situated. So you didn't know the bed bugs were there. You moved into the house. The bed bugs were retreating into the walls. That's the place they like to live. In fact, that's one of the number one places bed bugs retreat to when people use a heat treatment, is they go into the wall, which is why heat treatments fail. It's why Vicane treatments fail, is because the bed bugs, once you turn off the machine, there's nothing there to kill the bugs. There's nothing left to kill the bugs. There's no residue left. So this is why heat treatments fail, because there is insulation in the wall. It keeps the wall. It creates cold spots that the bed bugs can retreat to. If your headboard goes up against the wall and there is an outlet behind your headboard or behind your mattress or up against the wall behind the edge of your bed, that outlet is a place that bed bugs will retreat to. They will go in behind that outlet. They will live up inside the wall, and they will come out and bite you. Just as much as they will bite you from a bed frame, just as much as they will live on a box spring, they will live in the wall too. And they will come out and they will bite you. So you need to be very thorough in your treatment. One thing you need to understand with treating with Crossfire, and I want to explain this because I get questions on my YouTube channel all the time. I get questions from customers all the time. It's the exact same question. They say, you just sprayed with Crossfire, or I just sprayed with Crossfire. It's only been a week. Why am I still getting bit with bugs? Do you need to come back? Do I need to treat again? These are the questions I get asked all the time. And the answer is no, that's normal. You're going to get bit. You're going to have bed bugs even after you treat. In fact, a day or two after you treat, you may have bed bugs because once the chemical is dry, it takes 2 to 4 hours for a bed bug to die. Bed bugs only feed between 2 and 4 in the morning in a mild infestation. They don't feed all day long. They're not like mosquitoes. If you're there, they eat you. That's not how it works. They feed you when you're dead asleep. So your beds are treated. The bed bug crawls up the bed. It bites you. It goes back down. And it only takes it a few minutes to do that. So it doesn't take a full 2 to 4 hours for the bed bug to be able to feed. But they've walked across the surface and they're going to die. The point is that you're baiting them. You're the bait. And this is a joke. I think it's funny, but a lot of people don't find humor in bed bugs like I do. But you got a child, and you sit them at the table, okay? This 4-year-old, 5-year-olds. I got kids. I got 3 kids. I got a 4th on the way. So you got the kids sitting down, and you have a nice, big, delicious piece of chocolate cake. Slice it, sit it right in front of them, and say, okay, I'm going to go in the other room, and I'll be back. Don't touch that cake. And go. Just go. Do something. Come back. And they would have at least, tasted it. So the point is that you're the chocolate cake. You're the delicious piece of yummy chocolate cake. You're the snack in the bed. And the bed bug's like, oh, I want to bite that person so bad. And they don't know the Crossfire's there. So they just come right on out and bite you. And they crawl right across the surface and they die. It's like the floor is made of lava, but it's Crossfire. They don't see it and they die. So that's my best euphemism for you. That's my best example. That's why it works so well. That's why I don't understand. I know why other exterminators don't use Crossfire, because they want to sell a quick fix. Yeah, $3,500 later, you could be bed bug free. And heat treatments don't always fail. They do work sometimes. It's why they continue to sell them, because they do work sometimes. In fact, if you go through and read my videos on why heat treatments fail, watch those videos and you'll see there are some people who swear up and down heat treatment is the only thing that's worth the money. Now, I understand that there are people out there that say this, but Crossfire works too. It just takes longer, and it's more effective. You're going to get a higher success rate with Crossfire. Yes, it will take longer to kill the bugs because they have to crawl out and wander through it, but they will crawl out and wander through it. They will die. It does work, but it's just going to take a little bit longer, and you're going to have a little more patience, but it's going to save you a lot of money. A lot of money. But anyway. Wouldn't a house be easier to eliminate than an apartment because you have full control? In an apartment, you can't control your neighbor's bad habits. Either way, it's still a lot of work. Yes, that's correct. But in an apartment, once you eliminate the bed bugs in your unit, you can use repellent pesticides. So Crossfire is a non-repellent, and that's one that the bed bugs don't see. But if you use a repellent, a chemical that the bed bugs do see, and you use it in the apartment that does not have bed bugs, the bed bugs are going to they're naturally not going to want to come in your apartment because they're going to see that, they're going to hit that barrier and be like, oh, I can't go through that. If I go through that, I'm going to die. So they don't crawl through it. So in an apartment, there are other things you can do that are effective to keep bed bugs away. So hopefully that explained it. I talk a lot. In fact, I'm going right at an hour and a half. I'm probably going to need to get off here and get to bed. I got to be up 6 o'clock in the morning to work. I do a Montessori school, and those, are basically, they're schools for little kids. And they open at like 7 a.m. and I got to get there like 6. So actually they open later than that, but they start getting there. Yeah, they start getting there as early as 7 o'clock. So I got to get there really early before the kids get there. But hopefully this video has helped you understand. And, I'm going to look into that. What's your name up there? Somebody asked me about spiders earlier in vehicles. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to explain about spiders and how to get rid of spiders in your vehicle, because that's something I never thought of making before. That's the first time someone's actually asked me that question. So you guys have a really great day. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, Tuesdays are my video days. Live streams are Thursday nights. Hopefully on time next week. We'll see. You guys have a really great night. I appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you next week. Same time.